Hello everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot, and I'd like to read today on whether or not Trump is going to evoke his emergency powers to build his wall. He's threatening to. He's escalating his threats, but we do know he walks things back. I just want to go back to an earlier reading that I did on Syria and the withdrawal of the troops. Of course, he came out and announced he was going to withdraw troops within 30 days from Syria. And my reading showed that he would be walking that back in some way. We've had an announcement today that John Bolton, his security national defence head, has come out and actually said that they would be not withdrawing the American troops until ISIS has been defeated, and of course Trump has acknowledged that reversal. So that's not saying that the troops will stay in Syria forever. It's just saying that this taking them out within 30 days is off the table now, and we're now hearing different language about troops won't be pulled out until ISIS is defeated. So I'll leave that one with you viewers. But let's go to the evoking his national emergency powers. He's threatening. That was the reason that I told that story. He's threatening to do that. Interestingly, the House Judicial Committee Chair Adam Schiff, who is actually an attorney or has been an attorney, a district attorney, he has come out and said that it's a non-starter for Trump to do that. That if Harry Truman couldn't evoke national emergency powers in wartime, then Trump's going to be flat out doing that right now over the border wall issue. So nevertheless, he's threatening to do it, and he is unstable, and we know that. So I want to read on that. Will he actually evoke his national emergency powers to build the wall on the southern border of the USA? Will Trump be able to? He's threatened to do it. Will he evoke his national emergency powers to build the border wall? Will Trump evoke his national... All right, I'll do a Celtic cross on this one. He's certainly wanting to take action. Okay, this is the soldier, so this is the military. He's actually saying that under those emergency powers, he would actually get the military and defence funding to build that wall. So this is really what's on his mind at the moment, and this is how he sees himself now. I watched an astrologer, Robert Cosmar, the other day, who's on YouTube, who actually pointed something out, I think, that's really pertinent. And Trump's according to Trump's astrological chart, he doesn't doubt himself. He actually accepts who he is. He knows who he is. And I'd encourage you to have a look at that clip if you haven't already done so. This is how Trump's seeing himself at the moment. The soldier, the freedom fighter. He's charging forward with this building the wall. He feels he's justified in doing it. He feels he has the right to do it. So that's our signifier card there. That's how he's seeing himself at the moment. So what's crossing him? The ending of his presidency, okay? So endings and beginnings. He's not... This is almost like a last-ditch, reckless attempt of power for Trump, and that's what's crossing him, his waning power. So he might come forward in the Rose Garden surrounded by Representative Meadows and Scalise and the Homeland Secretary, but it's not I guess a cacophony of Republicans that are standing behind him. It's all a little bit pathetic. And then when he made his appearance in the media briefing room, he had a number of men standing behind him who all look the same. So some quite bizarre metaphors and imagery that's coming to mind here. I think this is signifying that Trump's power is on the wane, and this is what is crossing him. This is what's going to potentially stop him from evoking a national emergency. But look, we'll let the reading unfold. We won't get ahead of our cards. So the foundation, okay, is Trump. This is Trump. The foundation of this whole border fiasco is Trump is afraid. He's afraid of the Mueller investigation. He is afraid of the Democrats in the House. He's using this as a diversion. He's using it as a call to arms to his base. He is surrounded by the walls, actually, of justice are closing in on Trump. Now, this card is an interesting card in terms of the foundation, because the Eight of Swords means that this is kind of a self-imposed... I'm not saying Trump is paranoid, but there is an element of self-imposed fear here. There's also the isolation for Trump, and we got the Death card, which is, I interpreted it as his power being on the wane. All of these conditions are currently coming forward at the moment for Donald Trump. And the images of those last two appearances, if you look closely, I always go to the producer of The Apprentice or director of The Apprentice, who actually said when they walked through Trump's empire, paint was peeling off the gilded, chairs, etc. And they actually made him... they sort of did a makeover to make him appear to be a billionaire. The images around the Rose Garden appearance and the appearance at the press briefing, if you look really closely, if you're sensitive, you will understand that this is a person who is increasingly isolated, whose power is on the wane. So we'll look at the past here. Okay, and this is exactly what I was talking about. The past is the Mueller investigation. The past is the defeat in the midterms. The past is the Tower card, ruin and chaos. We had a lot happening in December, viewers. We had a lot happening on the Mueller front. We've got Mueller, the judge that is oversighting, the justice that's oversighting the grand jury, Mueller's grand jury, has extended it for another 6 months. Why? Because they're hearing new evidence or further evidence on matters. This is the chaos. This is what is surrounding Trump. And this has a bearing on the wall situation, which we know from our past readings. Now, what is happening in the present situation, or even a potentiality that could lead us into the future? The Six of Swords, there's really considerable pressure to move on from this situation, to reopen the government, and it's really coming quite strong on Trump. It hasn't hit the Democrats at the moment. They've been quite strategic in passing the two bills that would reopen the government. We've got some sanity coming forward in the media, an interview between Fox News and Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and Fox News' Chris Wallace was actually holding her to account. So the illusions aren't working anymore. And why aren't they working? Because his power is waning. So there's a lot of pressure coming on Trump to reopen the government and move on from this situation. There's also, metaphorically speaking, or I guess at a higher level, we could take this. What are the karmic wheels happening in the background at the moment? It's the moving on of Donald Trump from the presidency. That's the machinations, the wheels that are happening in the background. So at a higher level, the unseen, what's happening, that we don't necessarily see, is the transitioning away from a Trump presidency. But lots of aspects to that card at the moment. The potential future of this situation, in terms of will he enact his emergency powers declaration. We've got the Two of Pentacles, so this is almost weighing up multiple options. This is what he's doing at the moment. So there's no clear, there's no clear message here for me at the moment that he actually will evoke those powers. He's considering it though. The thought ran through my mind earlier on today that he would be having the White House legal counsels looking at all those options, and I think this is what he is doing. Because he desperately wants a win here. Now, in relation to Trump himself, we've got the Queen of Cups here. He's, I guess, shades of the old Donald Trump. He's looking to how he can use this situation in a resourceful way to stabilise the chaos that's likely to keep raining down on him. This is Trump, the Trump organisation. This is the Donald Trump presidency. This is Trump Tower. Okay, so he's looking to stop or stabilise progress. Now, it could be that, as I thought before in my readings, or that came through in the cards, it's a diversion away from the Mueller investigation. If the Justice Department is closed, if the courts are actually going to slow down, which a viewer has pointed out, then the wheels of justice are going to slow. So I think he's drawing on the emotion around the wall to slow things down, because he can see what's coming down the pipe for him. So this is, I think, the aspect of this card. The other aspect is that he's feeling also the gathering of the outcry. His presidency has been volatile. It's been a roller coaster ride for potentially for the stock market, for investors, for trade. There are many aspects of the Trump presidency that have been volatile, unsettled and unstable. And I think this energy is coming forward, particularly from the House, for stability. So, and that's weighing on him as well. I won't say weighing, because I don't think he really cares. It's impacting on him. So we'll go to the environment around Donald Trump. He's going to be offered something that is not what he expected. It's going to be smaller than he expected. This is the card of disappointment in relation to his evoking those emergency powers or an emergency declaration. He's actually considering it because of the loss here that he's had. He kind of sees this as a way out for him. But my feeling around the reading so far is it's just not going to get up, but we'll wait to see how the other cards unfold. This is both Donald Trump's discontent and dis-ease almost, but it's also an offer coming out to him, which of course he will have to take in the end. It's not going to be what he wants, but there will be some kind of compromise there, which has showed up in the other readings. Now, the hopes and fears. It's an interesting card because I think this is really Donald Trump's mindset. His fear is coming through this card. He's actually using, I guess you would call, he's deluding himself about the future of his presidency. He hasn't quite accepted that it's over yet. He's also looking at ways, he's hoping to find ways of pulling the wool, as we say, pulling the wool over people's eyes still, which is what he's done. This is the background to his lies and his deceit and his covertness. He's still trying to operate, to throw those smoke screens up so that the real story or the real impact of the things that his government is doing won't be known. Now, we've got several cabinet members now who are former lobbyists in some way or another. I think all of this is another aspect to his presidency, aside from the potential collusion, conspiracy, obstruction of justice, is actually what he's allowed to happen in the last 2 years. Not what he's allowed to happen, what he's instructed to happen, what he's let happen, what he has sanctioned to happen in the various portfolios in the last 2 years. I think all of that will be examined in great detail in the future as well. So in relation to his fears, he's deluding himself that his presidency is likely to continue. He's deluding himself about what power he's got left. He's also hoping to continue to delude you. Now, the final card here. Treachery, secrets, potentially secrets emerging. Now, from this deep, dark pond, I think in relation to will he do this, I think what this reading is saying is that he is looking for ways that he can covertly move forward so that he can get this wall built. I think this is also saying that there is, I guess, he's really trying to hide the reality of this situation as well. He's not doing this in relation to the wall, as our reading has shown. He's doing it for other reasons, to throw the diversion off the Mueller investigation. But I think that there's a lot that we don't know, and this is what this card is saying. So the jury's out at the moment as to whether he would evoke declare a national emergency to get his powers, to get his wall built. I'll ask for some clarity around that moon card. We know the secrets, okay, there's secrets there. We don't know the full story. This is behind the scenes stuff. Yes or no? Is he going to evoke those national emergency powers that he has to build his wall? Can we have some clarity on the moon, please? Withdrawal. Okay, so withdrawal. I don't think he is. I don't think this reading is showing he's probably not going to do that. However, there is a secretive nature to this whole shutdown, and there's a secretive nature to the wall and the building of the wall. We don't know. There are things that are hidden that we don't know about in relation to those emergency powers. There's some secrets coming forward around that as well, because we've got these two strong major arcana here, and the Hermit comes forward as this kind of hidden solo passage, if you like. This is Trump. So on one hand, we're thinking that he's going to withdraw, but on the other, there's things that are still buried that we don't know about in relation to the government shutdown and the evoking of those special powers, those executive powers. So we'll leave it there, but I guess my feeling generally is that his power is on the wane. And he potentially will probably take this kind of scenario in relation to the wall before he declares those. He makes that declaration around emergency powers. So I don't think he's going to do it, but there is still some aspect of this that remains hidden from view. And we'll wait and see what that is. We'll stay on it until the government shutdown is resolved. Thank you, viewers. I hope you enjoyed that reading.